period, and then again it was fully paid, and then there is no way that the quality and then the extra cost must be incurred. So that's why we haven't come up with any auditors further comment.
And then at 3.10.2, you have stated that they deviated from the work specification, and you said there was significant deviation from the contract agreement work specification and the actual work provided by the contractor. Yep. You asked for them to provide reasons for the deviation, and they said that the signing of the contract coincided with the repair of the road section in front of Box Bar Stadium by NRA.
We found that there was significant deviation from the contract agreement work specification and the actual work provided by the contractor. The contractor used concrete bricks, pavement, instead of the reinforced concrete pavement, as stated in the contractual agreement. So if they said any other thing because of this, when they give another explanation, as auditors, we believe that, okay, our point is clear, and then the readers, for them also, they are responding the reason why they read to digest and take necessary action.
At 3.10.3, and 3.10.4, they're both interlinked. It says the council entered into a contract with Baisa Lateral Drilling and Plumbing Enterprise for the drilling of 2 boreholes for the community of Arankoni Kunda and Kanjibat and Kanwali at Funi Bondali. The area council paid $1,054,200 for the construction for the drilling of 2 boreholes for those areas, for those communities, and the project was to be completed 45 days after commencement of work, which was to be 1st July to 15th August 2021. You said that you noted that both constructions were at a standstill. The water tank in one community was leaking, and 8 taps were installed instead of 11, as per the agreement. And for another community, the contractor stopped working since there was scarcity of water tanks, and the pipes connecting the 2 villages were not installed. You said this might lead to loss of funds to the area council since the villages are not benefiting from the project. You recommended that management should ensure the necessary action is taken for the contractor to complete the works without delay since the full payment was made. Do you know whether anything was done subsequently? There's no further comments.
Yeah, for the others, there's a force account is applied for this contract, notwithstanding the leakage and the 3 outstanding taps are installed. We can only confirm this in our 2022 audit.
What does that mean?
What? Which one?
What does the response mean?
The response means force action account. Force account is applied for this contract. Force account. I'm just thinking maybe they are taking a force against the contractor. They say force account.
I don't quite follow.
When we say force account in contracting, it means that they are not paying you anymore. They'll buy the material and then you execute the works. That is what they mean by force account.
Okay.
In contracting.
But they've already been paid fully, so
yeah.
I think that's the issue, because the auditors pointed out that the payment was, they already fully paid the amount. So
normally that is the reason why you should deposit bank bonds, because they will turn out to your bonds and then they use the bonds to execute to complete the project, and then it will be left to you to go and pay to the bank.
Thank you, Commissioner Sela. So, Mr. Traore, you're saying that you have to check when you do your next audit.
Yeah, the next audit, because this was for them this was their response. By then we followed it. So now it will come as a follow-up in subsequent audit.
Thank you. May I refer you to, I'm sorry, I don't know whether the commissioners have any questions before I move to another council.
We have questions, but move Or you want to conclude?
If it's in respect of Brikama, it might be best that, so that he can go through the report itself before we move to a different council.
Okay, very well. Mr. Trawale, looking at some of the provisions of the Local Government Act, and let me make specific reference to Section 148 of the Local Government Act, which talks about monitoring and coordination. If I may refer to it as it is in the Act, it says coordination of the advocacy for local government authorities. Coordination of and advocacy for local government authorities. And Section 149, mandate of the ministry. Now, my question is, what is your view in your findings during this audit period that we are looking into? What role has the ministry played in terms of monitoring and coordination of the policies such that they ensure the harmonization of their activities? And also, you understand, what is their role in making sure that they give direction to the local government institution with respect to projects that they are doing and to transactions they are entering with other parties with respect to projects they are executing in their various municipalities? What is your view with respect to that?
Yeah, I think maybe because I don't have, I think most of it.
And particularly for Brikama, I'm saying this in reference to Brikama.
For Brikama, when it comes to this, as far as this report is concerned, because the report was finalized in October 2022 for this period, the latest audit, October 2022, and then the ministry were copied, all, and the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Local Government and Land. Since then, and then discussion was held at the National Assembly. Since then, I have not seen any documentation, any report, or any feedback about the action taken by the ministry on this matter. The only thing, when we go back, request for the files, if at all there is anything, any action taken, then it should have been in the files, in one of the files. But not only limiting it to Brikama, but I think across all the councils, these findings, where the other oversight institution, let's say finance, Ministry of Local Government, will be copied. But if you go back, you see very little, you'll see very little action from the oversight towards regularizing that issue. Yeah. And then
Yes, the reason why I asked that question is that it is because Section 149 again, subsection D of that provision says, monitoring and supervision of the operations of local governments and their compliance with all the laws, regulations and national policies and guidelines. It's the responsibility of the ministry, and that they should ensure transparency, accountability and compliance. And it goes on to state what their responsibilities are. So,
I agree. The ministry has a that's why I think even yesterday I mentioned, if I have to apportion the blame, I'm not the right person to do that, but just for the benefit of this, I would say 75% of the blame will go to the oversight institutions. Because if I am doing something, I'm not doing it in accordance, you are there to regulate me, and you are not doing it, then who is to be blamed?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you proceed, please? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Trawale, I'll move to the audit report and final management letter, audit of Kuntur Area Council, for the period 31st December 2019 to 31st December 2020.
Yes. 2020, right?
Yes.
That's fine, I'm there.
Yeah, there, thank you. This is one of the opinions that, this is one of the audit reports that had a disclaimer of opinion.
Yes.
All right. I'll refer you to page 46 of the management letter or of the report.
Okay.
The heading is suspected fraud, and it's in respect of receipt books.
Page 46, right?
Yes, 46. You have noted that there are a bunch of receipt books bearing the letterhead of a regular vendor, Jar Oil Company, and that they were found at the office that used to house the former CEO and used for supporting documents for several doubtful payments. You said the reason for keeping the receipt books at council was not provided by the current management, and the former CEO could not be reached for his comments. Just to be clear, the receipt books were receipt books that were not used, so like blank receipt books.
Yes. According to the finding, they noted that a bunch of receipt books bearing the letterhead of the regular vendor, Jawel, were found at the office that used to house the former CEO and used as supporting document for several doubtful payments. It's like it's a receipt book bearing the letterhead of the Jawel company. The reason for keeping the receipt books at the council was not provided by the current management, and the former CEO could not be reached for his comment. Council's internal audit report covering the scope 2019 and 2020 reported the issue, but we found no evidence of a management response by those charged with governance. It's like they found receipt books with that heading, but they don't know because they don't belong to the council, so they don't know, and these are used to support the payments of the councils as supporting document. And then the council responded, although the council had acknowledged your finding as per the query, but management need to consult the former CEO for his comment before taking necessary as per your recommendation. A team has been set up by the General Counsel to look into the matter of the suspected fraud. Furthermore, a letter has been sent to the former CEO for his comment on your audit observation. Dates when to be regularized, they said June 2022. Auditors further comment, no evidence such as General Counsel minute meeting on the matter and the letter sent to the former CEO was provided.
So at page 48, the doubtful payments that have been referred to on page 46 is their parent.
Yeah.
So you said that you found out that council paid $251,493 bututs for repairs and works for various communities that were not carried out. A sample of the sites visited revealed no evidence of work performed, and the village heads who all denied receiving support from the council corroborated this. And then you detailed those payments in Annex A. Then the payment of areas to Jar Oil without proof. You said you noted a payment of $200,000 described as settlement of areas to Jar Oil Company. There was no evidence attached to serve as basis, nor was the balance of liability. The check number quoted was also not traced in both the 2019 and 2020 bank statement. We also note that the receipt used for the transaction forms part of the bunch of receipt books found in the custody of the council, all bearing the letterhead of the vendor, Jar Oil. So there's a table detailing the amounts.
Yeah.
Is it that there was no... Okay, there were other payments, there were other issues before the management response. Can you just walk us through those?
The ones you read, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Development and repair works. They said 251 was used to carry out communities that were to carry out that work, but a sample of the site visit revealed that no evidence of work performed because the villages mentioned they went there, but there was no evidence of that type of work. And then the village head, in fact, denied that he received any of such support from the council for the period. And then this payment was also not budgeted for, and no evidence to determine the planning and development unit administered the repair. And then the development and planning unit, because if there should be any of these communities, I think the director of the planning and development should be at the forefront. But in this case, there was no evidence of his involvement. And payment of areas to Jawel without proof. They found a payment voucher, 200,000, being payment of areas of fuel consumption for year 2018. Liability for the above named company as per attack receipt paid check number. But this check number wasn't found in the bank statement, according to the audit team. And then the receipt was among the receipt books found at the former CEO's residence.
So from a reading of this, it appears that, oh well, it sounds like somebody would have used those receipts to claim for payments from the council. Yeah, fraudulently, essentially.
Yes, that's possible.
And it said that the former CEO was, well, you tried to reach the former CEO, but
they can't reach him. According
do you know whether subsequently he gave any statement or anything to assist with that issue?
Or maybe I don't know whether the okay, there is management response to this. Maybe because they are all in one management response. So maybe you can go to the third point, and after I can maybe contributing to monthly room. Then I'm seeing. I can read the management letter.
Yes, please.
Then there was this issue also at the national. Then maybe I can come up with that.
Okay.
Maybe I proceed to
yes,
3.
Please. Yes, please.
Contribution to monthly Lumo set settle. We noted that contribution of 100